Welcome to the Dream Bigger podcast. I am your host, Ayani Tamar. I'm thrilled to kick off our first episode of this season with an incredibly inspiring guest. Here on the show, we believe in the transformative power of sharing our stories. Every story has the potential to inspire, heal, and propel others towards their own dreams. Today, we're speaking with someone who is no stranger to dreaming big and making those dreams a reality. Our guest, Miss Ciera Foster, is an unstoppable force. She's a visionary, an activist, global humanitarian, social justice advocate, international public speaker, an actress, a model, a scholar, a producer, an educator, and a businesswoman. Is there anything that this woman cannot do? Ciera's multifaceted career and relentless drive makes her the perfect guest to start our season. We'll delve into her journey, the challenges she's overcome, and the resilience she's shown in the face of adversity. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ayani Tamar. I am your host for the day, and I have a special guest with me. Okay, so this is called the Dream Bigger podcast, where we are here to dream bigger. Okay, so we have our first guest here, Miss Ciera Foster. I am so excited to have you, Mama. So your confidence is honestly unshakable.
Oh, really?
Oh, honey. You are one of the most confident people that I've ever met. My question to you is, do you think that your confidence is, like, do you think that people need a delusional amount of confidence to be able to reach their goals?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I think the thing is, I'm glad that people think that, but I have to be fully transparent. I struggle just like everybody else.
Okay.
My confidence, just to be clear, is derived above all from God.
Right.
He constantly gives me beauty for ashes, and I rise like a phoenix, but not through my strength, through his. However, my confidence actually comes a lot from my triumphs, which were rooted in failures and strife and overcoming, whether it was me as an NCAA athlete,
right,
or, you know, being like dang near homeless before, even just things that I experienced, especially at growing up as a kid and a teenager. There was times, and I'm to a point where I want to just be really honest with people. Like, I didn't have lights sometimes. Like, I had an amazing mom, worked great, so people like, oh, you have all these degrees and you were an athlete, and I was on the dean's list, but like, that wasn't easy. Like, I had to go to a friend's house and do my homework sometimes. So for me, if I can make through that, if somebody want to try me in Hollywood, I'm like, honey, you don't even know. I mean, there's also been just so many things as a Black woman. Yeah. It's great to be able to have the thing of being the first Black female superhero to lead a franchise, because there's other leading Black superheroes, but not to lead a franchise. Yeah. But even that comes with its own challenges. Right. And so it's derived from perseverance and from Christ, who has brought me through to persevere. So I feel like I truly feel like with God, there's nothing I can't do.
So my second question is, when people tell you no, you have to give yourself permission to say yes. Do you have any type of situations where you're like, no, I'm going to say yes, I'm going to give myself an opportunity?
Let me see. Oh, I remember there was this manager that I had, good friend of mine. Alex, shout out to Alex Kirchian. He manages Jake and Logan Paul and a bunch of like influencers, manager of Don Benjamin. Good friend of mine. Yeah. Best friend of one of my really good friends. And I remember we went to a place. We went to Craig's in Beverly Hills, and there was Wilhelmina agents there. And I remember one of them, I won't say what he said, but basically insinuating that I would never make it as a model, that my look was like really masculine and just like crazy.
They said that to Meryl Streep. Yeah. Do you know that?
Yeah, I remember I remember her, and she had some shoes on the bus, and she was thinking about it. She just made a choice to just reject that.
Absolutely.
But there's always people who there's actually so many things, but I feel like I'm to the point where I've just blocked them out. Yeah. So it's almost hard to recall.
It's really important to make sure that you literally cut out the noise when you're trying to go for your goals.
Yeah, when people tell me I can't do stuff, it's just like, oh, okay, bet. I remember just telling myself, because I had been an athlete for so many years, because I knew that was the way I can get my education, that I was too old to be an actor, which was crazy because I was mad young.
Right.
But these are I think to me, what's more dangerous is not what other people say you can't do, but the stories you tell yourself. Because a lot of times people tell you can't do something because 99% of the time what's going on with them.
Right.
Nothing to do with you.
Right.
But when you tell yourself certain things, that's dangerous, because lower vibrational thinking, negativity, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, will try to, your trauma, self-sabotage, will try to justify it to you. And to me, those are the more volatile situations.
Well, yeah, because if you don't shut down what those thoughts are, the intrusive thoughts, I think that's what people call them. If you don't shut down those thoughts, I promise you won't get anywhere. I promise you won't.
A way to combat that too, I did it for a long time and it really helped me. I've even gotten back to it recently. It's like, think what I call the opposite thought or the highest thought. So it's like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it does? Like,
that's
you know what I mean?
A good trick.
Yeah.
That's a really good trick.
Yeah, because I was a homebody, low-key, which is so crazy growing up. And I used to always be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because I wasn't just outside
you
like that.
You had anxiety?
I did.
Okay.
I was like a really at-home, quiet child, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I used to just be scared because I was in this uncontrolled environment. And then I had this click that went through my head.
Wow.
And it was like 20, 21. And it was just like, after I stopped hooping, and I was just basically like, instead of being like, oh my God, what could happen? I was like, oh my God, what could happen?
Oh.
And it just changed my, what do they say? Change your perspective on things, and change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Wow.
And that's been my
changing
life.
Your perspective.
Yeah, that's been my life.
Honey, gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, that's been my biggest thing lately is like making sure that I am grateful for everything, and it is a game changer.
And knowing that for real, just like it says in Romans 8:20, everything is really working for your good.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, when you really believe that, like, even if you're not a person of faith, you're good. Like, you can't help but not have that come into your, it just becomes who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Okay, girl. Okay. Transitions. Let's talk about transitions. Okay. What was your hardest or your biggest transition? I know you are out here without family.
Let's tell my business. Family's who you make it. I have so many friends like yourself that are family. I feel so blessed. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so was it easy transition coming from wherever you were to out here?
Well, I was an athlete, and
I
turned down several full scholarships, and I ended up coming to a part of LA that was Southern California, that was very far from LA.
Okay, but how was that though? How was you transitioning out of basketball?
Out of basketball?
Yeah.
It was my time. I ended up breaking my leg. I was a center when I got to my entire career. So the 5 position, like what Shaq would play for basketball. And then when I got to the NCAA, I became a power forward. Now, I had always trained with guards, and I ran track, and I could dribble. So that was like fine. But I say that because in the position that I was in my whole life, you protect the basket. So I've gotten like cracked ribs, all type of, but I've been pretty much able to play through anything. I've never had like a torn ACL or anything.
Wow.
I took what was called a negative step the day before my first game, and my patella tendon tore. Nobody hit me. Just, that's what happened.
By yourself?
Yeah, I practiced, but I really feel like that was God literally bringing me here. I turned down so many scholarships all over the country. I was recruited from the state tournament as a finalist, and brought me here because that was him literally having me walk into another direction. And had that happen anywhere else, I don't know that I would even be here talking to you. I certainly don't know if I'd ever be the first Black leading female superhero of a franchise. Yeah, so.
Isn't that crazy how God does that to us, though?
Yeah, but at the time, moment of inspiration, super depressed. I'm out here.
There you go.
I don't like the school. I don't have a family. Sold my whip. I had a super nice convertible on ramps on dubs from the Bay. Came from San Francisco. Like, you know, it was really, really tough. Yeah. And I would not change a thing. I'm so me breaking my leg by far was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I never would have been. I don't think I would have pursued acting had that not taken place. Like,
so
for sure.
Once again, it worked out for your favor.
Absolutely. And then the way I got into activism, the short of it is, so none of the questions is, the NCAA was like, yeah, no, we want you to play on a broken leg. I was like, yeah, no. You guys brought me out here. You need to pay for my junior year, and I'll figure out for my senior year.
Yeah.
Fast forward my senior year, I found out all this corruption was going on within the school system as far as, and tuition was going up, but everybody else was getting raises on the boards. So I started working for the California Teachers Association as a paid speaking activist and ambassador, and they actually flew me and several other state ambassadors that were students to San Francisco and trained us in activism, public speaking, tactical organizing, guerrilla activism.
And did
leadership.
you find out that you really liked it then? Is that how you found out that you liked it?
You know what? I was like a Girl Scout and stuff, but for me, like, my mom used to drive around and she would play conservative radio, not just, liberal things. Yeah. And she would ask us, she would have never tried to sway us. Do you understand what was going on?
Was it kind of like the BBC?
We would do BBC, Al Jazeera, we did everything. And she would say, how do you feel about this? And we would debate, her, me, my mom, and my brother.
So this is what you grew up in.
So, it was kind of preparing me. And then, like, shout out to all the Jubilee fans. Like, I really feel like that is what, allowed me to be able to, like, be a great debater and care about politics and not just be an actor.
Okay, so kind of you just walk me through your timeline. Okay, so did God ever tell you to do something, and through your obedience you saw an open door? I feel like people need to know what that looks like, Lord. And people need to hear that. Jeez. Because obedience will unlock the door to so much stuff that you didn't even think about.
Two things that come to mind. The first one would be advocating to stop the execution of Julius Darius Jones.
Wow.
Actually, even before that, after George Floyd, rest in peace, was murdered, because I think it's important to say that happened.
Absolutely.
I just went on live and I was like, do Black Lives Matter? Now, mind you, I'd always been an activist, but when I got involved with that, and I was crying. I was just so tired. I didn't care about having a platform. I just really wanted to know, as a human being and as a Black woman, do Black lives really matter? Yeah. And what happened is that little video went viral, but it went viral in a lot of, like, countries where there was a lot of other people that were not part of the Black experience. So Japan, Brazil, Norway, Germany, Italy. And then I started educating, because that's what one of my degrees is in. Right. I have a triple bachelor's in psychology, ethnic studies, and women and gender studies. So, and also just being a Black person, having that experience. Right. So I just started talking, and people were having a dialogue with me. Right. I formed a platform, Black Allies Speak, but I was being called to more. Then fast forward, I see on the news, all these Black people are outside. It's during COVID, but there are also people talking about they're looting all these different things. Right. And I had never seen people organize like that before. Like this moment, a lot of young people, very inspired. Yeah. All of a sudden, the newscasters, they show all the protesters, and then they say, "Too bad there's not someone like Drake that can like lead them," because it was like a little unorganized, but it was still extremely inspiring. Okay. You know? And I took a screenshot, called it one of my anchor friends. The day I was supposed to appear on that particular news station, they actually canceled, because they said, we don't actually want to talk about what's happening. We just want to get reaction shots to the looting. I was like, oh, no, man. Oh, no. So I was being called to go out very, very quickly. I had a white friend, model, beautiful girl, shout out to Kristen, met her on a yacht in Italy for the Time Film Festival. Love her.
Excuse me. No, but yachts in Italy.
I'm just saying, because this is how God works. The next day I see her out there with her girlfriend. They got signs, and I'm like, what am I doing in the house? And God's like, you need to be out there speaking. I get done speaking. A guy comes up to me, and he says, and this is his words, he says, you're one of the most powerful speakers the best speaker I've ever heard. Wow. And he says, I want to amplify your voice. Take my number down. And he goes, my name is Colton, but you can put it down under MGK. And I was like, okay. Now what? Okay. It was Machine Gun Kelly. And through partnering with him, he partnered with another organization, we were able to just do a lot of great work together. But that was just saying yes. Like I was I don't want to say I was afraid, but there was an element of like resistance.
Of
but
course
I also was
it is.
called.
Yes.
And even from that's how I ended up appearing on Jubilee. The producers found me. I even got contacted by the producers of VH1 to do an episode of Basketball Wives.
So it opened up doors,
but it wasn't popular.
Not just one,
but I have
but
to tell people
a couple.
like it was not popular. And then when I was advocating to stop the execution of Julius Jones, that became a main thing. Kim Kardashian, Steph Curry got involved in the end.
Wow.
But when I was initially doing it, it was not popular. And I was like, I flew to Oklahoma twice, literally went broke trying to save this man's life, was on prayer calls. Like, me doing that, and then we had an unprecedented 8 million signatures on change.org.
Okay, wait, you said that you did prayer calls?
Oh yeah, we did prayer calls. I became, shout out to Pastor Keith, his chaplain became my good friend. Like,
wow.
The people in Oklahoma, like, I consider them like family. His sister, shout out to his sister. It was a whole thing. I actually would even talk to Julius on the phone from jail every couple weeks. Yeah, like, it was like, here's the thing. I am not an actor who happens to be an activist, or who is an activist, who became an activist.
Opposite way around.
I am an activist, a lifelong activist that just happens to
be
act.
An actor. Yeah.
And the passion facilitates the platform. But me doing that
really is your heart too.
Yeah.
That's who you are as a person.
Doors. But I wasn't doing it because of that. And there was a day, I mean, we kept getting pushed back, looked like we weren't going to win. I refused to not believe that. And there was a day, the day that November 21st, 2021, I fell to my knees and I said, God, if you just save this man, I promise you I'll do it. I just was crying out to God. And 2 hours before he was scheduled to be executed, we won. I mean, we're still fighting because he's in there, but he's alive. And he's been on death row for 26 years. But so after that, a lot of doors opened to me. But while I was going through that and posting every day, and a lot of times, like, you get a lot of accolades for, like, nobility. But when you're going through something like that, it's like, oh, that's weird, or that's too much, or, you know, but whatever. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, so we had talked about being obedient and doors. Is there another story for that?
Okay, yeah. So there's two, but it's a two for one.
2 for 1.
Yeah. So because of one story, another story happened. So one story that seemed like a fail of being disobedient actually facilitated later obedience, which was a greater victory. And
isn't that amazing?
It's the way God works.
It's
it
literally
says he uses everything, beauty for ashes.
Man, and I feel like that's so important to touch on, because I feel like a lot of people beat themselves up. I know I do. Like, if I'm ever disobedient, I always be like, oh my God, I wasn't. But he always uses everything that you do.
I remember, so literally right after, even before I graduated acting school, so right after I got my degrees, I got a triple bachelor's, and I graduated university, and then I went immediately into acting school after I knew I was going to do that.
Okay.
And that was another 2.5 years. And before I graduated acting school at the Sanford Meisner Center, I was booking like crazy. So I booked Casey Undercover with Zendaya.
Wow.
I actually got my SAG card. I love that woman. Organizing basketball stunts for her and choreographing. Yeah, because she didn't want to do it. So they called me in last minute. It was me and another girl, and I had to literally like hoop to get the job, and I got it.
Wow.
So that was cool. Yeah. And it went from being stunts to like actually stunt coordinating. So that was amazing. That's how I got my SAG card as an actor. Then 2 weeks later, I booked 2.5 Men with Ashton Kutcher, the very last season, the Christmas episode.
Wow.
And the only reason I was able to do it because they Taft-Hartley'd me, which basically means I was already eligible because I had worked with Zendaya.
Right.
Otherwise, you got to get vouchers and credits.
Right. Isn't it like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah. So I said that to say, I was like, all of this was like with a new agency, and I didn't want to let them down because we were like on a kick. Yeah. But I still things were happening so fast for me.
Yeah.
I still hadn't got a huge leading role.
Right.
And, you know, that's actually the case for most actors. It takes years. But I was very blessed to have these experiences very early on. Because mind you, I'm still in acting school. I was a basketball player a couple years, like, what, a year and a half before?
Right.
So I get an audition.
Yeah.
To audition for a show. Some of y'all might remember it. It's called Pitch. It was about the first Major League Baseball player.
Yes.
I was a former softball player as well. I played a lot of sports.
Ciera, what?
I've lived a lot of lives. And
what?
Yeah. You know, I also used to live in Rome too, but let's stay focused. I digress.
Okay, I thought it was Paris. Did you used to live in Paris too?
I wanted to say something about a song about Paris. I'm not gonna say it. No, I lived in Rome. No. Yeah. Ciao ragazzi.
Yes.
I speak Italian. But no. So this is what happened. This is what happened to answer your question about obedience. I think it's important. Hopefully it will bless somebody. I get this audition at ABC.
Okay.
To be for the lead of this project.
Yeah.
Mind you, this project was initially written for a white Southern belle.
Wow.
And she goes into this team, and it's all these guys, and she's the first woman ever to be in the MLB, right?
Right.
I just intrinsically already knew what that felt like because I had been twice in a position coming from rival teams to another rival team and became captain, but I had to earn their respect. Because mind you, I went from Northern California and from one team to the Bay because I'm from Sacramento,
right?
And all my teammates was from Oakland and Richmond.
Okay,
so
okay,
it was, but I earned their respect, so I know what that's like. So I said, I'm gonna just be me.
Yeah.
So I went to Ross. Shout out to Ross.
Hey,
okay. I'm sorry, I'm not trying for nobody, but Ross. Listen, when you're an actor just starting out, that Ross be Rossin'.
I like Ross. Right. I like Ross, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls.
Yes. So I got me a little baseball outfit.
Okay.
And me and my acting coach, shout out to Ranjiv at the Meisner Center, we put it up, we talked about it, we did it. Boom.
Yeah.
The next day, I go audition, and they call me, within 30 minutes.
Okay.
Casting is like, you're going straight to the producer. They loved you.
Yeah.
I'm the only black girl there. Because they only took me because of I looked so much in character and my athletic background.
Yeah.
But it was me and a bunch of blonde haired white girls. And so they said, so they wanted me to come back like literally in a couple of days. Right. Yeah. But I think it's also because I didn't read like it was written. I read like I was back in the Bay. Okay. You know what I mean? And my teammates were from Oakland and Richmond.
You were something different.
Because I knew what it was like to not be liked. They're like, who is this little person talking all whatever? Like, my teammates always just make fun of me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to get it done on the court. I knew what the role was, and I just was something different.
Right.
So they got excited. Was going to Dan Fogelman. He produced The Fosters by J-Lo. All these different things. If people that are in the industry know, he's a very big, respected producer.
Okay.
A lot of primetime television.
Okay.
So my management, they freak out at the time. I had just been signed with them. We had done Casey Undercover, Zendaya, now 2.5 Men. And they're like, this is a huge thing. You'll be the lead. They send me to an acting coach. Even though I'd already worked on it with my coach, and that's what got me in the door. And the way I was trained is, if it broke, don't fix it. Right. They wanted to see what I did.
They wanted to, don't change.
So I got pressured into changing it. And I literally, the way he was teaching me, he was totally distracted. He was going on a date with his partner. It was really weird. Yeah. And he was like, pick the cup up here and do that. The way I was trained as a Meisner, we go off you in the moment. We live real life. Every time we do it, it's going to be different. Yeah. Because that's the truth of the matter. Right. The moment has changed. Yes. Right now? Right. We need another moment.
There you go.
But he was trying to have me recreate something. That's not acting. So I did not want to disappoint them. I knew in my spirit it wasn't right. I went in there. Let me tell you something. Dan Fogelman said, I heard a lot about you, and I don't know what's happening right now. He says, but he basically was like, this is not it. He was not here for it.
So
he
sad.
said, I'm going to let you do it one more time.
And do it how you did it.
And the thing is, it had been so ingrained in me to not be myself.
That you didn't do it right.
I not only did I not do it, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it, right? Fast forward. Obviously, I didn't get it. What ends up happening is the actress that got it, and bless her, because she should have. Yeah. I don't know her name. Beautiful girl. Yeah. I'm 6 feet tall. She's 6 feet tall. African American girl, look just like me. They changed the whole role to basically be who I am as a real person, from a blonde hair, blue-eyed Southern belle. All good. Fast forward. One day I'm walking, so I'll say that to the very end. I get the call years and years later. Even we don't even have time to get into how I got Livewire, but I get the call. Yeah. Hey, so I have to say this. Okay. I submitted myself for a role for an online low budget series. Shout out to Steven. It was called Lipstick. It was actually to play a role of a lesbian. Okay. I wanted to play something completely different than myself and challenge myself. Really? So after I go to the audition, and this is on LA Castings, right? Okay. No one submitted me, nothing. After I go to the audition, this is before even the story I just told you. Okay. This is just me wanting to act, just loving acting. Okay. They asked me to talk about myself. I started nerding out about comics because my core following knows I'm a super, super nerd. I love superheroes, right? Yes. I manifested that. Yes. And so they were like, I don't know if you're good for this, but there's might be a thing we'll refer you for. We'll call you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Forgot about it. A couple months later, this guy named Aaron calls me. He said, hey, I'm from About in the Sun. We make superhero beatdown. We have millions of followers. We put superheroes from different franchises together against each other. We use real trained actors, real martial artists. We're going to be doing a show. It's going to be a cameo with the X-Men. It's going to be Wonder Woman versus Wolverine. Do you want to play Storm? That was my dream, right? Because when I was growing up, Storm was the only superhero that looked like me.
Exactly.
And I will play Storm one day for Marvel.
Listen.
So the point is, fast forward 3 years later. Oh, nobody, like, everyone was like, why do you want to do that? I just wanted to do it.
What, play a superhero?
Just play Storm for this company.
Yes.
So I do my little cameo. It's like 2 minutes. It was great. Awesome. Loved it.
Right.
Fast forward 3.5 years later. I get a call from Aaron again.
Okay.
Hey, we're doing a thing. It's a superhero thing. I can't tell you about it, but I remember his exact words. It's really cool.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'll audition. They send me this stuff. Sony was making the feature films for Valiant because they'd never done anything live action. And long story short is they decided to do a show, and they needed a lead because the person that was on the show, the superhero, was beating everybody up. They needed to make it more interesting.
Okay.
So that's when they went to the archives and found Livewire, who is the leader of this universe.
Wow.
And it's a black woman with dreads.
Wow.
Shout out to Aaron. But Aaron told me, the director, he said, she's hood. So make her hood. She's been an orphan. She's been through a lot. She's hood. In my spirit, me and my brother are working on it, and he looks at me and goes, you're going to lose this for us, and walks out. And we both love superheroes together. So I went back to the drawing board. I said, no, the stuff she's saying is educated, and the reason she's in charge of all these men is not because of what she is, but in spite of it.
Wow.
What she's been through. So I did it super like, this is a live voice, like, hello, boys, you can drop the macho posturing. I can control your nanites, and I can control your superheroes anytime I want. So you're both losers. Like, it's not hood. She's smart. She's very superhero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know how superheroes talk.
That was the first time I seen you act.
Yeah. So the point is, the owner of the comic company said that that's why I got it. But I would have never made that choice if the thing with Pitch had never happened.
Wow.
But God told me, don't do what they told you to do. Do what I told you to do.
Wow.
And I was ready. I was willing to walk away.
From the last thing.
If I didn't get it. Yeah. If I didn't get it doing what God told me to do at this stage of my life, I was like, I'm good. But if I do it and I don't get it and I didn't do what he told me to do, I can't live with that. Not twice.
Wow.
Now you just disobedient. Now you just
disobedient. For real, for real. This is what you do. This is what you do. That was a story, and I loved it.
I think it was important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's really good.
There would be no Livewire without that.
That's really good.
Yeah. That show ended up getting canceled, Pitch, which was a great show.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. And I'm still doing Comic-Con all over the world to this day. And I remember at New York Comic-Con when they revealed us and they revealed me as Livewire, I remember seeing a bus with her face on it go by and Pitch. And I said, in New York. And I thought to myself, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a full circle moment. That's really dope.
Yeah.
Okay. So has there ever been a time where you might have dealt with imposter syndrome or self-sabotage or
it's like
anything
every
like
day.
that? Oh, doggone it. I'm like, why are we like this?
No.
Why are we like this?
I think the enemy will try to try you every day. And then that's when you got to be like, nah, I'm me.
Yeah.
But I like those moments because it's an
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm learning to love them because it's an opportunity to prove who I am to myself.
Wow.
Nobody else.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And also to just listen to who God says I am.
So what advice can you give to somebody that might be dealing with imposter syndrome?
Well, I don't want to act like I have never dealt with it. I haven't. I just will know that every time I've dealt with it, I've experienced it. I've overcome it.
How?
Just to know that you're not alone. Well, I think the first thing is to realize that everybody goes through it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, if you're not scared to do something,
it's not big enough.
It's not big enough.
I know.
It's
Dream
not
bigger.
big enough. Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, I'm starting a business. You
right.
know, and it was actually a conversation with you, to be honest, that made me say, I'm doing this.
Yes.
Because I thought to myself just a lot of things in regards to not having done it before, you know, and the story
you had to embody it too.
Yeah.
You had to literally embody the business that you are putting out and that you're pushing out. And that's literally what you do, which I think is dope.
You know, I'll be honest. I had imposter syndrome even after I helped stop the execution of Julius Jones. Obviously, that was not something I did alone. So a lot of people
backed with you.
Yeah, but also it was like a core people in the coalition. And I remember, you know, it was actually not during, because during I was like, I was fired up.
Yeah.
Like God was really like using me. Anybody that followed me that time, they know I didn't care.
Yeah.
This, like, I just could not see this innocent man be killed. But afterwards,
yeah,
the praise that I got
mm-hmm.
and admiration because I'm used to, I'm an activist. I'm used to being in the trenches. I'm used to being in grind mode. But to have a platform, see, as an actor, you think you're going to be known for playing other people. I got known for being myself. I wasn't ready for that. If I hadn't gone through those things and had to get myself together and realize, no, you are called to do this and you did do this and stand in that. Because it's weird too. I also got a lot of hate. Because people, like, the fact that I, like, was getting admired for something I guess people felt was so noble stirred up something in other people. But I had to realize that, no, this is what I'm called to do. I truly believe that's why I was blessed to be the first leading female superhero of color to lead a franchise.
10 toes down.
Because of what I do outside of my acting. I really believe that. So now, when I worked for those organizations, I'm like, this is what I do. As long as there's breath in my body, people cannot just be entrapped in the criminal justice situation.
Wow.
And I'm a humanitarian across the board, but that is something I am absolutely adamant about.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Ciera, what are you working on right now?
Okay, the short of it is...
Tell me what you're working on,
okay.
sis.
Did you ask me what I'm working on?
Tell me what you're working on,
okay.
sis.
So, you're so silly. I'm attempting to go, which is so busy, back on Comic-Con tour because I really owe it to my supporters.
Yeah.
And they have held me down through everything I did, including help, my efforts with change.org.
Right.
They were huge. I appreciate y'all because they have rocked with me through doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I am making a book. Well, my book's pretty much made. And it's going to be an educational book because I refuse to have Black history taken out of schools on my watch. I've also been a teacher, I've been an educator for years.
I know.
Facilitating times when I wasn't acting, but also just being in service after COVID.
Yeah.
I'm also producing a series.
Girl, I got chills.
Thank you.
My goodness.
I'm taking what I did with reform as far as storytelling for people who are justice impacted to another level.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name of the series just yet, but that'll be out. That's in the works.
Yeah.
Where you're going to be able to hear more of people's stories that are justice impacted so we can destigmatize them and we can have real reform. The last two things, I'm doing some work with elections.
Okay.
I founded something that I think is going to really revolutionize the way that we vote and help candidates that are underestimated be seen and also help people have more accessibility to voting. So I'm excited about being more informed voters, I should say.
Okay.
And the last thing I am doing, which you are a part of, I'm so grateful, is I have a creative agency that I'm launching.
Yes.
Foster Impact. We already had like a soft, quiet launch. We facilitated a partnership between the Los Angeles Urban League. Thank you so much, Los Angeles Urban League. They're older than NAACP.
Yeah.
They stand for empowerment of all people, but especially of Black people and civil rights. They've been around since 1910.
Yeah.
And Uncle Nearest, who just got a $1.1 billion evaluation. So thank you, Gabrielle Wilson, for your support in that. Congratulations, Fawn Reber, Black woman in Forbes, just this last week for Uncle Nearest, Nate Nearest was actually the person who taught Jack Daniels how to make that whiskey. So it's just a lot of Black excellence going on.
I am so proud to call you my friend.
Oh,
I really,
my friend.
Look, I'm so proud. I'm so grateful to have her here with us today.
I have a good team. I'm really excited about Foster Impact because I just have to say this real quick. We offer so many different services. One of them is image consulting, and you're our premier stylist. You styled me today. I really feel like I'm a leader, but I have a great team, and so it's not about me. So working with you all makes it easy, and I'm so grateful to be your first guest. And I just have to say, with my agency, it really was your conversation that really you say a lot. You were just so down and just so willing and just so thinking I was so capable to really start this agency.
Because you are.
And my biggest thing is all the stuff that I've done, it was God, but it was just me. Like, I've been verified on Instagram for like 10 years. Yeah. And it was really just, I am the product, so I feel like I can serve people, and we're very impact focused. So sometimes people, they have great skill sets. Organizations have great skill sets, like the Los Angeles Urban League that have done so much work, but they maybe they don't know how to use social media a certain way. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying in general, or they just need partnership alignment. And so to be able to facilitate impact for people, artists, executives, businesses that deserve it is extremely, extremely exciting to me. It's like, it's become such a joy. So just thank you for encouraging me to get started. And no pun intended. I mean, I play live wire, but it's about to be lit, y'all.
It's about to be lit.
We got some other things in the work, and I can't wait for the world to see it.
I know. I'm so excited. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
It's so cute here. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I want to see your other guests, and I'm just excited.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a blessing.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Good luck.
All right, y'all. Well, we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.